And we are live. Howdy, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and I'm getting started. We're here. I'm watching a little bit of Liverpool taking on Man United because I want to feel joy in my life. Um and Liverpool are beating United. So I'm going to go ahead and tweet out the link here so that folks can go ahead and join up. Hopefully, everyone's finding it all right. Um, to those who would typically watch on X, um, which I'm calling it X specifically because it's the shit version of Twitter, right? Like the bad version that we've all come to know. You now need a premium account to be able to live stream. So I figured like I'm just not going to do it because Elon does not need my $8. Welcome, Mark. Welcome, Herbie. And yeah, we've got Son of Jedi 99. We got everybody. The gang is gathering. So welcome, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. As we hit halftime in the Liverpool match, I'm waiting for the stream to come up, and it looks like we do have a stream. I am starting solo. So everybody who's expecting to see Mika, you will likely see Mika here in a little bit. But we are gearing up for El Paso Locomotive taking on Memphis 901 at AutoZone Park in Memphis, Tennessee. Folks, there's no easy way to put this. This has been the most difficult season in El Paso Locomotive's history. Yeah, as we gear up for this one, I think the elephant in the room here is that people are rapidly losing interest in Locomotive, and I think they have quite the hill to climb to make sure that people don't lose interest in them in a way that is damaging beyond what they can afford, I guess. So last time out, Derby loss to New Mexico United, damaging beyond even what the team had suffered up to this point. Damaging because of the injury problems, damaging because of the people who are unavailable, damaging because we are starting to sort of feel like we are having to plug gaps just to get enough guys on the pitch at a given time. So this lineup will also feel a little bit put together, I guess, in some ways. No surprises that Jamali Waite will start in goal, but we do have Ricky Ruiz at left back, it looks like. Noah Dolenmeyer, Brandon Craig, and Lucas Stauffer starting across the back line. And then another new boy, Robert Coronado. Bolu Akinyode and Eric Calvillo there in midfield. And then Steven Rivas, Joaquin Rivas, and Amano Moreno making up the top end of the pitch. But my opinion on the move on with Forrest. Wait, did I miss something? Did I miss a piece of news from the club? Because I would love if that. Never mind. I have not seen any news about Andrew Forrest, but that's okay. Oh, Herbie saying no. Do you think we should move on with him? Yeah. Unfortunately, I think we've been well past the point of needing a change in the front office, and my concern about the lack of movement or lack of accountability in the front office is growing to the point of at at first it was a concern about, is this is the lack of accountability in the front office indicative of an organization that is happy to maintain the status quo? Because that would be bad in its own way. Like, um, what I would say is, I guess my larger concern is that is the lack of accountability in the front office indicative of a organization that doesn't really care if they improve, because they don't actually care about the long-term viability of the team. USL typos, Brian Clairhout still listed as the manager by Memphis 901. So for Commissar Shorn, can you explain to me what his role has been in this, and how was he responsible, and how would it change our fortunes, I guess? So Andrew Forrest has been the business GM of Locomotive for several years, but he hasn't had accountability around like on-field results or player transactions, but he has quite a heavy hand in running the entire front office and having a relationship with the head coach. And so while he's not really held accountable for results, he does play a big role in how that front office operates, how they operate, like what the expectations of the head coach are, as we are underway in Memphis. And broadly as a business, how that club operates, which I will tell you is not on par with the top organizations in USL. So they lean way too heavily on minor league baseball infrastructure, which is a problem. All right, on to the game. So Locomotive with some energetic and effective possession so far, and it looks like we've got the ball down Memphis's right hand side, and we forced an early corner here through Joaquin Rivas. So promising early start from Locomotive, and happy to see them with some early energy, as the injury report there. So Alfaro, Borelli, and Palua listed as out. Alfaro reportedly pretty close to a return, and then Navarez suspended for this one after his red card against New Mexico. Short corner taken, and the eventual shot came in from Calvillo, but very, very tame. Yeah, Dylan is a confusing one, and here's what I'll say about Justin Dylan. I don't think he's favored by Wilmer. He now hasn't made the squad a handful of games, and Wilmer's son, who's a striker, is now on the team. So, yeah, make of that what you will. I don't know if we see Justin. I wanted to check. Is he even on the bench? He might not be. Yeah, doesn't make the bench. I think he's getting a healthy scratch at this point. Akinyode gives the ball away in a pretty dangerous area, and Memphis in these bad giveaway from Memphis, and Locomotive on the charge once again. Hopefully we'll be able to pull something off here. Don't mind me just doing something real quick. Doing something real quick. All right, Locomotive putting some pressure on early at least, but Memphis able to play out of this one. Quick turn on the ball from Hindman. Decent tackle there on the flank. And Locomotive able to come away with it. Calvillo operating on that right-hand side of midfield, where I think we've seen him sort of at his best. It will take me a little bit to get to grips with some of the RGV additions that Locomotive has made in Coronado and Steven Rivas. Herbie saying 25-day for Cabrera. So yeah, Cabrera, Andy Cabrera, as he is wanting to be known, signing for a 25-day contract. I think it has to do with his situation in Germany, where he did play last season for Greifswalder SC, and Locomotive able to get that one away. Some half-hearted penalty claims, I guess we would say, from Memphis. The game is shaping up kind of nicely, as we've got Mika in the building. How we doing?
Yo, sorry I'm late.
You are good. Hope all is well.
Yeah, no, good. False alarm.
Okay. No, that is good to know. So, Mika, I mean, interested for your thoughts on, I mean, obviously it's been a little bit since we've chatted Locomotive as Memphis go along here and try to play in behind. But Locomotive look pretty different with some of the additions and like the business that's been done. So Coronado and Rivas like into the team again. Ricky Ruiz in the team as well.
Yeah.
So curious what you think about this. I guess sort of this new look lineup and coming to grips with a team that Cabrera is like very obviously eager to put his stamp on.
Yeah, and then I mean we haven't even gotten to see yet the new German defender that joined us, and then of course
Yes.
Andy Cabrera. So yeah, I mean lots of new faces in the 915. You know, maybe that's what we need is a little bit of a shakeup. So, and we need guys looking over their shoulders to worry about their spot in the starting 11. So I welcome it by all means. I mean, more competition is always a good thing, and in the state that this team is in, I mean, nobody's place should be assured right now. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised to see some of the changes that were made tonight. So
Oh, USL Typos is on another
not
level.
San Antonio.
They had
Oh my god.
they had San Antonio. They had Brian Clearhout as our manager
Stop.
on the pre-match graphic. Yeah, no, we're not in good shape in as Coronado plays out of a bit of trouble there. I will say I'm feeling conflicted about these orange kits now with the amount of RGV alumni playing on the team. So
Oh my god, it was a sign. We didn't know it at the time, but it was a sign. Yeah, no, the RGV links are kind of getting a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Memphis aren't in the greatest moment of their season, are they?
No, they've been pretty inconsistent recently. Yeah. Like, and the teams that they've beaten, I would say, are like. Now, this is going to be a meme for Locomotive fans, but teams they should beat, if that makes sense.
Right. Now, is Memphis the USL's Getafe? They're just taking everyone's damaged goods and like rehabilitating them.
Yeah.
Because they got Panos Armanakis, who of course fell out of favor in Phoenix due to disciplinary issues, I guess.
Yeah.
And I guess those couldn't be resolved. So that's some pickup.
John Beccaro as well. I don't think Panos is starting tonight. But let me double check. Yeah, he is on the bench.
What a player to have off the bench, but
Yeah,
I'm
some
sure he
really
hasn't even had a training session yet with the team.
right. Some really significant attacking talent that can come off the bench tonight for Memphis in Bruno Lapa, Marlon, Noe Meza, and Armanakis is also there. So yeah, they've got some weapons off the bench. But Locomotive's energy early on against this Memphis side looking pretty good. Oh, Moreno with a opportunity there, chested it down, could only find Ruiz, who's trying to shape for a cross, but opts to play it back to Akinyode instead. Locomotive did piss me off already with the we had a corner in like the second minute and took it short. So
Oh no. Why?
I don't know if that's just like a Wilmer thing. It feels like we just take a lot of our corners short for whatever reason, when that's like the simplest route to goal for a team that is struggling for goals. So
Right.
yeah.
I will say I'm hoping that Bolu Akinyode has a good game because he has been out of favor recently, and so
Yeah.
it's really important for him to show out tonight, because I do rate him. I do think he's a very good player, and in a struggling side, but
Yeah. We had a question earlier about Justin Dillon, who was not listed in the injury report, but is not in the squad as Locomotive.
He is
threatened.
injured.
Okay.
Last weekend, so the Derby weekend, I was hearing like he was 2 weeks away.
Okay.
So maybe there's a chance we see him back when we're back at home. But who knows? Tony Alfaro is also he's also saying he's about 2 weeks away with the hamstring issue. So I don't know why, but the injury reports are never like fully accurate.
Yeah.
So
I was
don't know.
having a bit of a crisis with Dillon, where I was thinking like it does feel like he's been less involved, and I think some of it is injury, some of it is form, right? Like he sort of got dropped from his like typical starting spot in favor of Joaquin Rivas, which, whether that's fair or not, like, is certainly open for debate. But it does feel like he's not necessarily like a Wilmer fave. And now that Andy Cabrera is in as well, it's like, will we see Justin like when he is healthy?
Yeah, no, it's an interesting kind of situation. I mean, personally, I think that Dillon is still the best out-and-out striker that we have.
Yeah.
I think it's just not working for Joaquin Rivas so far, which I say so far, more than half the season's gone. So I think it's fair to say this transfer has not worked out.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, but
yeah, it feels a bit like Cristiano Francois,
also from Miami before he came to us.
Scored a hatful with Miami, and then came here and just couldn't replicate, or hasn't been able to replicate the form. I won't put it in. I won't write it completely off. But yeah, it's
And here's our just 2-time in 2 weeks Save of the Week winner, Jamali Waite. Been an absolute hero for us. I mean,
truly,
his stock has not been hit at all by this absolute shambles of a season that Locomotive are having.
You wonder like just how much worse it could be without.
Right. It's very troubling to think about.
He is. I mean, I would say, I haven't taken a good hard look at the metrics recently, but for my money, by far the best keeper in USL.
Yeah.
In a team, we used to have to like make the arguments for Logan Ketterer and what a solid keeper he was, because he was facing such a low volume of shots. While I think Jamali Waite is earning his keep every single week. As Amanda Moreno into the box and just miscontrols it.
I didn't want him to go to the byline there. Did he get the corner?
He got the corner, which is
interesting.
I'll take it. I'm surprised that that was given, like, based on our camera angle, it
Yeah, it
didn't
looked
look
like he
like the
just
defender
dribbled it
even,
out.
yeah, it didn't look like the defender even put a foot in. Um, but yeah, I'll take it. And I think, Jamali obviously improved his stock even even despite Jamaica's disappointing Copa America. I think he was one of the people who come out like looking very, very good.
Yeah, he was
Um,
outstanding.
Basically every goal he gave up was completely unavoidable. Like either a
Yeah,
complete banger or a fluke. So yeah, I think you can't really even point to a like many goals at that tournament where he would be expected to save it, I guess. But
right.
a lot of time being taken before this corner, so we'll see we'll see what Locomotive can come up with. If they take it short, I swear to God.
Oh my god, right? I mean, let's just like yeet it at Noah Dolenmeyer's head.
Put into the box, headed away initially, but held in by Rivas. Then Stauffer looking for an option here. Got a little greedy with the touches he wanted there, and he's going to be booked for his troubles, I think. And this is a common thing for Locomotive where they end up in yellow, like they end up with yellows from sort of innocuous situations and like early on.
Yeah.
I feel like this happens quite frequently to this team.
I think sometimes we're so desperate to keep the ball that we'll like overcommit to the professional foul when it's like really maybe we're not even in much danger there. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not a the break wasn't like clearly on. He could have probably relied on his teammates there, but alas.
Yeah. And now a corner for Memphis. Situation that we haven't been particularly great from in defending corners, and they're going to have a retake.
What happened here? Is that Eric Calvillo down as well? No, it's not Eric. It's
No,
somebody else.
this is the way he's moving is like quite troubling. Oh, and yeah, it does look like Eric Calvillo is maybe down as well.
I don't think it's Eric because Eric's to the
Or
left. I don't know who that is.
oh, it's actually Noah. That was very strange because the referee gestured for the corner to be retaken, like basically he had whistled before the
Right.
kick was taken. But I'd be really interested to see what actually happened there, because the reaction from the Memphis player on the deck is like pretty intense.
Yeah, I don't like to see like
Oh,
could be a fencing response.
no, maybe he gets poked in the eye or something, but that was pretty dramatic. Yeah, I think he may have gotten poked in the eye.
Okay. Hmm.
So a little bit of dramas here. It's a long a long stoppage here. I didn't get much chance to talk about the starting lineup for Memphis, but um,
My bad.
no, you're good. Um, yeah, long stoppage here. But I guess, discussing the fact that it's a little bit of a Well, I would say a more significant change for Memphis as they try to continue. They sort of continue to try to shake things up. So they give Luis Fernando, John Baccaro, Knight, Pickering, and Samuel Cariaga the start up top, and Bruno Lapa gets dropped. Marlon gets dropped. And then Armanakis, like we said, like potentially coming off the bench. But it does feel like they're sort of Memphis, like you said, their form hasn't been as good. So it feels like they're trying to shake things up as the corner now will finally come in and Waite punches away. And it looked like Ruiz might run onto that one, but Cariaga able to keep it, gives it away very cheaply, luckily for Locomotive, and then they similarly give it away pretty cheaply, but it's out for a Locomotive throw. But I guess from a goal scoring perspective, Memphis kind of doing the same thing that Locomotive is, where they're kind of throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall and just seeing what sticks from an attacking perspective, like shaking up the lineup a little bit and just hoping that they can find the right combination.
I have to say, I think so far, Amando Moreno's been bright. He's been able to find some spaces.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a lot of quality on display by either team so far.
Oh, this is dangerous. A good intervention from Noah Dolenmeyer there,
Yeah, anticipation.
As Memphis was threatening to get in. Noah really has, I would say, a different level of white boy fade. He just always keeps that same haircut. Like he has to be like the Jersey Shore guys. Like he's getting his hair cut like every 3 days.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I know that in the past, Locomotive players have had their like favorite barbers that they post on Instagram and stuff, but I haven't been keeping track.
Moreno was looking to get onto that, but Memphis able to keep hold. Memphis staying in possession down the left-hand side, tried to deliver in the cross, but blocked away by Stauffer. Stauffer, a player who's sort of endured, like just a sort of a strange season, I guess, in many ways, because he was considered basically our best player for most of the first maybe third of the season. And since then, obviously, his role has changed, and there's been like other factors in sort of why his importance has maybe dropped off a little bit. But
he had that injury as well.
He did have that injury as well. But yeah, a player that has always sort of, it feels like his potential of what could have been this season has always just been simmering, but never really boiled like at any given point. So hopefully we can continue to see a solid Lucas. But 21 minutes, well, I guess into the 22nd minute now, Mika, and like you said, not a whole lot of incisiveness from either team, and everybody kind of holding each other at arm's length so far.
Yeah, I mean, much like the New Mexico game, I felt like when we kept New Mexico wide, there was zero threat. I mean, I think both their goals. Well, one's a penalty, obviously, and the other one is like straight up the gut. So I mean, if we can show players onto, the wings, then we can control the game. But
sure,
our own chance creation has not been like the best, obviously. So
Joaquin Rivas getting caught on the ball there. Steven Rivas showing his frustration with the situation, and having two Rivases making the commentary a bit more challenging,
right?
Particularly given how close they play to each other on the pitch. But that's the sort of move where you're like, sort of crying out for Justin Dillon's ability to just like hold the ball and move it on. Is now a missed interception in midfield. Cariaga to the edge of the area and a really good intervention there from I believe that was Ricky Ruiz coming back and making that last second challenge.
See what I mean? Like once they go up the middle, that's when mistakes happen. We're very good at staying compact and keeping the play wide, but that
and it was
is
just
a
like,
ball that's happened to us so many times.
Yeah. And it's instant threat. Like someone tries to step up and win a ball in midfield, misses the interception. And I want to see, it was Dolenmeyer actually who steps up into midfield, misses that interception. It's just immediate, like you're immediately on the back foot. And it's one of those things like we're praising Dolenmeyer for his proactivity. And if you commit to a challenge like that, you either got to take the ball or the man. Like there's really no,
right.
You can't come away with that with them just getting past you. If you're going to commit to that extent that far up the field. But Memphis back in possession, and Locomotive, it does seem like they have sort of settled back into a little bit of long ball. Like even when we're winning the ball back, we're slowing things down and not really trying to play people in. We're kind of going long. So hopefully as a ball. So I think they've given handball against Ricky Ruiz in the end here. Because
this is a free
kick. They didn't blow for the foul. Like I think they gave handball in the end because I don't think they whistle for a foul. They let it play on. Ruiz thinks it goes out of bounds, and I think the ref is saying that it didn't go out of bounds and he just picked it up. So it's a handball. But a strange one here and a really dangerous area to give up a free kick. As I get to just whip this one in for free.
It's basically a corner.
Yeah. And a dangerous one, too. It was knotted just wide. And, a chance there for Lucas Churchy, the Brazilian.
Warning shots.
Yeah, who gets beat at the back post here, I guess, is my like. Yeah, it's actually Brandon Craig, who should not be getting beat to that header by anybody, right? Like,
well, the positioning was all wrong, first of all. Like, you need to unsettle him a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a let off there for Brandon Craig.
Yeah. On the one hand, a player that you sort of have to feel for in that, like, obviously this is not how he probably saw his loan spell in El Paso going in terms of the team success. And on the sort of in the same breath, I think you can probably point to the fact that it is quite clear like why he's on loan, and he's not necessarily ready to be an everyday starter at a like top level club.
Right.
Not a knock against him, just that he does show his age, I think sometimes with just how he can get a little naive. And in that case, he gets sort of just like, into a bad position, and it just sort of gets worse and worse from there. So luckily a let off, no goal at the end of it. So we can let that one dissolve into the mists of time. But yeah. It does feel like Memphis is growing a little bit in just like the amount of danger that they're what's the new like sort of sexy set, expected threat. Ball through, and it takes an intervention from Craig this time to put the ball behind, as maybe it was I'm really okay. The corner was given. It was like very weird that they went close in on a player immediately after, because it's like I figured it was, and I wasn't sure if they had given an offside there. But another corner for Locomotive to defend. Some big pushing and shoving in there for him. And it did look like a Memphis player, went arms extended there.
Stoffer is just like, come
Yeah.
on. This is ridiculous.
Zach Duncan at the center of that for Memphis as the corner is looking to be delivered. I don't know how we haven't conceded.
Yeah, that
was catastrophic defending. Like
awful.
Pathetic. It's not even a good corner. And it actually goes past, who's that? Rivas and Brandon Craig.
Is that
both
Jamali
declined,
again with the
and it was
bottom of the boot?
Jamali with a kick save and a beauty.
It's unreal.
Chance to counter here, maybe for Locomotive if Moreno can get onto this, but put out into touch. Heineman, I think, was tracking back there. Former Fulham signing,
right.
Emerson Heineman, and once upon a time a hot product out of the U.S. youth national team ranks. He has shown himself to be a solid professional, I think, with Memphis, but once upon a time
Bournemouth as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, I believe. Did Fulham maybe got a fee for Bournemouth or from Bournemouth? I don't remember. But yeah, Bournemouth and not to put any salt in any wounds, but speaking of Fulham, the ESR transfer really kind of caught me out. I mean, to be fair to Arsenal, a very decent fee. But I know for anyone from the Hale end, right? Yeah. To move across London, I'm sure that's a bit of a blow.
Love me some Emile Smith Rowe. I mean, he literally saved Mikel Arteta's job a couple seasons back. So he's a real one.
Before Martin Odegaard was
right.
Emile Smith Rowe walked so Martin Odegaard could run.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like to get that kind of a fee with add-ons, I think it's approaching like £30 million for a player who hasn't really played in 2 years. I mean, that's insane business. But yeah, I will absolutely miss him.
Yeah,
great player.
I think he'll do well at Fulham too. Like I think that's a good move for him.
Yeah, definitely. And
it just in the playing time and role sense, like I think he'll kind of get the keys there, which it'll be interesting to see how he handles that. But
yeah, no, I wish him all the best. Absolutely.
It is also extremely strange that we're talking about like the European club season starting. Like Zweite Bundesliga had a match day today.
No shit, really?
Yeah.
My God.
They're already back at it August 3rd. So
insane.
Yeah. No, it's wild because it all feels like it just ended.
I mean, those poor players, man. All the ones that played Copa America, that played the Euros, like
crazy. Yeah, we did fail to commentate on this, but yeah, the mistouch there, the full on surrender Cobra, just from Wilmer. It's unfortunate. I will say for as lit as Memphis's like capos of their supporter section look, the supporter section itself does look quite empty. As Locomotive threatened to get in here, we haven't seen too much of Steven Rivas out there on the right flank, but
That was a really clever run, though,
yeah,
from the throw. It caught the whole back line off guard.
it's sort of been that final ball, that final touch for Locomotive so far that they haven't really been able to get into a shooting position or anywhere dangerous to really put Memphis under pressure. They've gotten into that spot before the spot as Memphis play it out for a Locomotive goal kick. So what do you think, Jamali Waite, 3 weeks in a row, save of the week? Is it possible? Is it possible? Is that all we have to cling to anymore?
Like, at what point does it become insulting? You know? No, I mean, he's fabulous. He really is. And you know what is also crazy? Is like he never looks like pissed off with his teammates, and I'm like, you probably should be.
I wish he was more pissed off.
Yeah, like he's so.
But no, he is very, very calm about
Yeah.
his goalkeeping.
Which I don't know what to read into that, right? Like if I was
Yeah.
cynical, it'd be like, oh, you don't care. But like really, I think it's just his personality.
Yeah. Which it is funny when you think about, I mean, using Logan as an example, maybe I think like if he was facing the volume of shots, like I don't know that the back line would have eardrums left.
Right.
Right. But yeah, different styles and obviously Jamali is just like a wonderful goalkeeper. So far be it from us to question his methods, but
right.
yeah, you do have to feel for him at a certain point because it's just he's been in a shooting gallery all season and still kept us, in these games where maybe the chances might suggest that we should be I mean, we definitely should be 1-0 down in this game.
Yeah.
Nothing more than
corner.
that one chance, but that corner was terribly defended and definitely should have been a goal. We actually had from Brian Miller, so who is a Philadelphia Union fan, going back to the Brandon Craig conversation, it was like his loan spell in Austin wasn't successful as well. I want him to do well as a Union fan, but I'm hoping he can turn it around. Yeah, for a player that is so highly thought of in sort of like was so highly thought of in sort of youth national team setups, he definitely has some work to do as Memphis threatening again. Cross comes into the center and luckily able to do just enough to put off the sliding chance from Pickering. I think it was Knight Pickering there at the back post trying to slide in, but
really good body positioning there from, I think, was it Stoffer?
It looked like
Stoffer in
Stoffer.
the way, yeah. Which that
and
see,
tracking
that's
that,
of,
yeah, yep,
yeah,
very savvy defending, and just the awareness too. I think something that Locomotive have been the victim of like far too often is sort of just being blind to those late like far post runs and letting people sort of ghost into the area. And luckily there, Stauffer very wise to what Knight Pickering was trying to do out there. And again, like an intervention that is probably goal saving.
Yeah.
Great ball into the area from Louise, but I think the offside flag has gone up against Pickering. That ball was lethal.
Yeah, really good clip ball.
Yeah. But yeah, Pickering, I guess, didn't check his run in time. Interesting note, and I don't actually know the story here, but might be harsh, that decision. I don't know that they got that one right on replay as shot comes in here from, they were on the replay. Was it, who actually took that shot? I didn't actually, maybe it was Joaquin Rivas with the left foot, but blazed over from about 28 yards, 30 yards. First shot of the game from Locomotive, if I'm not mistaken.
Took more than half an hour, dear Lord.
Second, maybe, shot of the game. I must have missed the first one. Oh, there was one. Calvillo took a shot from the short corner. I did remember that. It was like tamely into the arms of the goalkeeper as Memphis getting down the left-hand side and then put out by Dolenmeyer for another corner for Memphis. So yeah, just the 2 shots so far for Locomotive. And I think that's been like, I mean, I think we've talked about it probably ad nauseum, but and at the risk of oversimplifying the game of soccer, like the volume of shots, and this goes from like the Claerhout era into the Cabrera era, like the volume of shots has just not been enough, like really across the whole season to expect to get anything more out of the games that we played in, as this comes to the far post and cleared off the line by Noah Dolenmeyer and into the waiting arms of Jamali Waite, who's going long for Amanda Moreno, but it's going to go all the way back to Memphis goalkeeper. Yeah, if not for Noah Dolenmeyer, that is another chance. He was just right place, right time on the goal line there.
Yeah.
It does make me sort of question the setup, because why is Noah not trying to win a header on a, like, I'm not.
Yeah.
we prevented the goal ultimately, but why is Noah not attacking the cross as literally the tallest person on the pitch?
I mean, it's a fair question.
Like, what's he doing on near post duty? This ball played around the corner for Moreno. He actually finds Calvillo in a good area. He thought about shooting. Rivas plays it out to his I was gonna say his primo out there on the wing. But the shot that came in from Ricky Ruiz in the end was tame, but
Not the worst move.
But yeah, Dolenmeyer off the thigh. That was actually probably the best move of the game so far, and actually playing between the lines a little bit. Which again, I think like Calvillo, he was looking for a through ball to Moreno, definitely over ambitious given how low Memphis were by the time he played that. Locomotive do win it high up the field. Coronado, I think, was the one with the intervention, and Ruiz now to Akinyode.
Coronado is giving Emre Can.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like in looks and play style.
Shaping up for a shot from Ruiz, I think it was. Or no, who was that? Was that Coronado?
That was
actually?
Coronado.
Yeah. That was Coronado. So yeah, very Emre Can in that. Do some hard work in midfield and then have yourself a go from distance every once in a while. But not half bad. And I think all in all, yeah, it's the haircut and the beard is very Emre Can.
Like it's spot on.
It's actually kind of weird. That's really funny.
Can.
If anyone can, Emre can. That was a joke in Liverpool for a while while he played there. But yeah, a couple of decent moves from Locomotive, and it does feel like, and this has been my gripe sort of all season, it's like when this team tries to get the ball down and play and like plays passes between the lines and doesn't go long, they are an infinitely better team that is more productive, more efficient, like, and I just don't understand why they go long all the time, because they have the personnel to play a much better style. From a purely like footballing standpoint.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's this temptation to like exploit Armando Moreno's pace, which I certainly understand that, but it's still a low percentage play
Yeah.
at the end of the day. So
Memphis have the ball down in the corner. Ruiz does well there
well
against
done. Earns the foul too.
Quezada. Yeah, really well done. I do have to say, like, despite the result last time out, and like them getting thrown into the mix in a derby, having just signed for the club, like all this stuff, I do think Ruiz, Coronado, like they don't look. They've actually like acquitted themselves very well, I think.
Yeah.
Like since they've joined the club, like they have shown that they're gonna do the running, they're gonna do the fighting. Like we haven't quite yet seen the flashes of like, we would love to see them get involved in terms of goals and things like that, but we're at least seeing them at the very least, like there's a lot of effort. The quality,
like they
the
haven't
quality is
turned up
there.
like unfit or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I know we joke a lot about the RGV, like the Toro, what did John call it? The Torosification of Locomotive. But I think like at the end of the day, these are players that Wilmer trusts and knows he's going to get like a certain level of commitment from them. Like, which, do I love that we went to Central Valley Fuego and said, we'll pay a fee to get Robert Coronado off your hands? Like, not really, but
that beggars belief. But
the state of the squad was such that like a handful of players who the manager trusts, who are gonna run and like fight and like have some level of, as Memphis now in behind. Another save of the week. Another save of the week contender.
It's
over.
Inevitable.
Call the competition at this point. Another kick save from Jamali Waite on Luis Fernando, and
Luis Fernando's been cooking, by the way.
Yeah. No, he's been very lively out on that right-hand side.
Wow, that is an outstanding save from Jamali Waite.
Jamali Waite, just that one I will say is not like, I won't be insulted if that's on the list, because what a save. And just to stand your ground here, he covers off the near post, forces him to go to the far post, and then just throws his foot, his boot out at it, and gets the necessary contact. Oh, for fuck's sake! Even San Antonio scored.
Oh, seriously? Who are they playing?
Tulsa. As Rivas, the linesman letting Memphis off the hook there a little bit. I don't think Rivas did a whole lot wrong. I think he turns his man down the line there, and he threatened to get in, and the linesman essentially lets the defender off the hook. I'm actually quite disappointed. That was clever from Rivas, and I think he gets unnecessarily punished because I don't think he did a whole lot wrong. Coronado gets caught on the ball here.
Yeah, that was too many touches.
Locomotive retreating, and we're into a couple of minutes of stoppage time here.
It's funny because Coronado's so like dedicated to making it right, because he went all the way back to that right back position.
Yeah. He certainly wasn't giving up on that one. We played 2 full minutes of 3 added on. And as we head towards halftime, I'm not trying to get too far ahead of myself with Liverpool, but they are 3-0 up on United in Charleston, South Carolina right now. So
Dude, United are kind of having like a not good preseason because like Euro got injured,
mhm.
Hoyland got injured,
They have nobody.
Rashford got
The
injured.
guys they're playing are like they're playing literally nobody. Um, which Liverpool is now on their like academy guys, but yeah, even first half I was like, I've never heard of these dudes. Halftime in Memphis, 0-0. Um, Memphis probably, I think like the story of the match so far, Memphis probably should lead. And Jamali Waite the difference so far. Locomotive have in very, very brief moments looked like a side capable of unsettling this Memphis side, but they haven't truly done it yet. Like they've looked capable of doing it, but haven't actually done it.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair, and I think that there's just too many little mistakes in midfield that are leading to big chances, and we have to clean that up if we want to get something out of this. But I think 0-0 at halftime, given some of the chances that we did give up, I think you kind of have to be pleased with that. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think that's a state where can you believe that we're having this conversation? This is sort of unrelated to this game, but it was funny talking about especially having been like out to Oakland and all of this stuff, like, and talking with people around the Western Conference from other clubs where they sort of were like, man, it's just like so crazy what's going on at Locomotive. Like you guys were the, sort of like the standard of like, this is how an expansion team gets off the ground and all this stuff. And it was really funny having that conversation because I reflected on the fact that like, well, we've been mediocre to bad as long as we were good. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we've had three, like, this is the third year now of like,
Right.
like, we're okay. Yeah, we're decent, whatever. Or in this case, we're horrible. Um, where we had like 3 good years, I guess, or 2.5 with like the COVID season. But yeah, so I was interested in that we've been now mediocre to bad, like as long as we were good for.
I think it's just more jarring because usually it's the other way around where you're like mediocre to bad first and then you play
Right.
good. So
Yeah,
for us to like start on such a high and then fall from grace is just like really painful.
yeah,
And obviously jarring to those on the outside looking in.
for sure.
Um, but yeah.
Well, at halftime, given what we've seen so far, I guess who have you been pleased with so far, and then who maybe either needs to step up, or do we need to look to the bench for solutions um, for certain folks who maybe didn't have a great first half?
I don't know that I'd change anything yet necessarily. Like I said earlier, I think Amando Moreno has been able to find little pockets of space and at least threaten, bear down on goal a little bit. I mean, his pace is always going to be a question for any defender in this league. But yeah, like I said, midfield is kind of just we're dallying on the ball a little bit too much, and I think that against a Memphis side that have this many weapons that could potentially hurt you, and then they've got Armanakis in reserve tonight. I mean, you just can't take that extra touch. You need to just keep it moving. And I think we look better when we're playing more like one touch, or at least like upping the pace and the tempo of the game. So if we can continue doing that, upping the tempo, then I think we'll be better off for it. I mean, obviously, we talked about the corner that was really disastrous, and we've had to have Jamali Waite bail us out twice already. So yeah, the guys just need to stay switched on. But yeah, we'll see. Second half, all to play for.
Yeah, and I would certainly I would agree with you on the I don't think we need to make any changes. I also would say that the areas that we would change, like we are pretty short. Um in that like we don't really have a midfielder on the bench. Like all of the midfielders are on the field.
One, they keep getting like suspended for each other because like we just get Calvillo back and now we lose Javier. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, the indiscipline this season has been quite something too. I mean, that's like an
Yeah,
undercurrent of this season that I think is going a little bit under the radar. Is like how much we hurt ourselves.
for
You
sure.
know, as much as opposition has smacked us around this season, I think our own like indiscipline has not helped.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's completely fair. Um and it'll basically take like a change of shape to make a change for a midfielder at this point, cuz I mean Moshe Zacharias, Petrovic, none of them are slotting into midfield, I don't think.
No.
Or I pray that they are. um and yeah, it is interesting, like headed into halftime, the way that Thought Mob sees it. Obviously, this is a fallible thing, but Coronado, Ruiz, Dolenmeyer, and Jamali Waite are the highest rated like players for Locomotive at halftime. Um, Akinyode a little bit lower, Moreno down below 6, Rivas at 6. So
Wow, South Georgia Tormenta sold somebody to Burton Albion.
yes, yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. Nick Akoto. I was trying to remember what his deal was actually.
Burton's badge is so funny. Like it's just like a fat beer drinking man.
Yeah,
Like what? And aren't they like the Brewers or something like
the
that?
Brewers. Yeah.
Insane.
Um, yeah, and it's interesting because so his Akoto was, I guess, previously he was like in Wimbledon's youth system once upon a time, but he did a bunch of like non-league stuff like a long time ago. Went to college in the US, like played in college in the US, and then went to Tormenta. And so like Burton Albion literally like has identified him like from Tormenta. And yeah, OKC Energy alive for next year potentially.
Oh shit.
Now
That would be great.
I think they might go to League 1.
Okay.
I think that might be I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think Oklahoma City, and then they're potentially targeting Reno as a League 1 side
Okay.
as well. So resurrecting a couple of 2019 classics from from Locomotive's past.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, it would be great to see those teams back. What I will say is OKC Energy in particular need to take the opportunity of their resurrection as a chance to rebrand, because truly one of the, I mean, and hopefully I'm not offending anyone in here, but truly one of the worst badges in American soccer.
Energy.
OKC Energy, yeah. Just a
You know,
truly insane design.
It's not great, but the one that takes the cake for me is San Diego. Like that
Oh, that's true. I like
it
San
it
Diego
literally
FC.
looks like the logo of like a butt rock band. Like you're telling me that that was not on the cover of a Breaking Benjamin album? Like
It's chrome.
it's
Like, sir, that is
horrid.
chrome. Like, sir, that is chrome.
It's disgusting. Like I
Yeah, no,
can't
that is
even
true.
with that.
That is
And
true.
it's like nothing about it screams San Diego to me.
No, 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 that is terrible. Um, so yeah, fair enough. Interesting, I guess like player movement news was that there were some reports about Nick Marcanic,
Uh-huh.
like transfer bids coming in for Nick Marcanic from abroad.
Well, shit.
Less than 100K offered to Charleston Battery for a 20 goal.
That's a
He has
piss take.
20 goals.
Didn't we get like 250K for Luna?
Yeah. And that was from MLS, and they don't want to pay anything. Like,
Yeah, no, they need to. That is insane.
yeah. So Charleston has obviously rebuffed those approaches, but yeah, surprising that the market for Nick is not like more exorbitant given the return this season. Because what is it? 20 goals through like 20 goals in 23. It might actually be more than that now.
And he's
With
not really a striker, right?
yeah. Yeah, he's like sort of a winger. Yeah, 20 goals and 4 assists in, and I think he was, yeah, 20 goals and 4 assists in 23 matches. So, I mean, literally a goal just over a goal involvement a game.
I would say like maybe something like 750,000 is like fair.
Yeah. I think Charleston would probably entertain anything above 500,000. But yeah, 750 feels about right. And I mean, for the output, it's like if he's gonna, any offer has to outweigh the output, right? Where it's like it was the Harry Kane Spurs like conundrum for how long, where it's like, well, do we like, is it worth him staying and leaving on a free if we get 30 goals out of him, right?
Right.
So if it's like if Nick Marcanic like ends up with like close to 30 goals this season and they like go deep into the postseason again, it's like that would be worth, if you're only going to get 200K or something like that, it's like, well, we may as well just hold on to him until he demands to leave. And even if he leaves on a free, at least we got like the output and then could go and replace him or whatever more deliberately. But yeah, it's like if you're not getting more than like some of the fees that have been thrown around in USL, especially for players that ultimately, I'm thinking like Junior Flemings, didn't he went to like Toulouse or something like that for like 750,000. And don't get me wrong, like a fantastic player at the USL level, but like he wasn't scoring 20 goals.
Right. So you kind of have to adjust for that.
Yeah.
I am happy though that that the Philippines is finally looking at Marcanic.
Yeah. It does feel like teams are like some of the federations are getting pretty aggressive about American based players and their eligibility for.
There's another, because really the Philippines needs a striker.
Yeah.
And another boy they're looking at, his name is Bjorn Martin Christensen. He's from
Bjorn
Norway. But
and he has Filipino eligibility.
He does, yeah. I think his mother's Filipino.
Oh, it's amazing.
But like, it's so funny. Like, Nothing about that sounds Filipino. To be fair, neither does Nick Marcanic, but it's just like the
True.
diaspora, come save us.
And I mean, every nation has like is leaning on the eligibility rules to a certain extent, right? Like there's no nation that isn't benefiting somewhat from like
For sure.
from having players abroad.
I mean, like, shout out to the U.S. military that we have a football team at all. Like,
Truly,
with all of our bases in Germany, like
the German bases literally created a development program for the U.S. men's national team for a period of years.
truly. Second half
Yeah.
underway.
Or are you already kicked off?
I'm kicked off, but I
Oh,
don't have a score bug, so I don't know where I'm at.
okay. Yeah, I am now there.
I'm at 45, 12, 13.
Okay, you're like 3 seconds ahead of me.
Okay. I don't think that's too bad. Well, this is another route for the Philippines. There is a young boy in the Atletico Madrid setup who is Filipino, so I think he's a defender, but
And that's the where it's like you can get revenge for colonialism.
one of Barcelona's greatest ever players was Filipino, Alcantara.
No kidding.
Yeah. He Paulino Alcantara. And he represented like Catalonia, the Philippines, and Spain, like all
Wow.
all of that. But yeah, he scored like almost 400 goals for Barcelona.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. I think Messi broke his record, but yeah,
Well, you know.
it happens.
Memphis lose it, and Rivas. Rivas has been quite unlucky in some of these decisions. This linesman kind of has it, or I guess he switched flanks now, but these linesmen have kind of been doing him dirty because I'm fairly confident he won a throw there, and they gave it Memphis's way. Memphis now trying to play him behind, but Locomotive winning the throw. And again, Stauffer being a little, I think, like just very showing his nous in body positioning these last or I guess, in this match, he's just kind of put himself in the right position to make the right intervention. And Locomotive, Ruiz and Moreno linking up. And has Moreno won a free kick here? He has. And that is very quick. Yeah.
Camera didn't even catch it.
Oh, he's given the goal kick as well. I don't know that was a good decision necessarily. Moreno's certainly not happy.
This is getting a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Some of these decisions.
Yeah, and it's odd that there's this many contentious decisions around like dead ball restarts, because often throw-ins and those sorts of things are not very contested.
Right.
But corner obviously not being given there felt like a harsh thing. It could have been a bit of karmic payback for that corner they got early on, where it looked like Moreno just dribbled out of bounds and got a corner out of it. So maybe we're even now, I will say. He had one to make up.
Okay, not this player just beating 3 guys.
Yeah, it dribbles through everybody. Then played out wide to the right.
Hey, that's actually a foul on us in our box.
Yeah.
Not called. Okay.
Oh. I thought the concern would have been about penalty claims, but he actually just decided to give nothing. Ultimately a goal kick for Locomotive, so I guess all is fair, but
That right there is a foul.
yeah, that is a foul. And then it's a foul again on Ruiz. I think it's actually a couple of whistles that could have gone, but Memphis from the long ball from Locomotive able to regain possession. And some nice interplay here and they make a big switch out to the left-hand side, and a good intervention there again from Lucas Stauffer. As is that O'Connor? What's his name?
Nice.
Wait, was that Akeem
Rivas
Ward?
there.
And why is Akeem Ward wearing a new or like going by a new last name, or not a hyphenated last name, I guess would be the question.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't notice.
I thought it was a different person, and I think it's actually just Akeem Ward, but I think he's going by like O'Connor Ward or something like that.
Going double barreled.
Yeah, it is Akeem Ward. So he was trying to cut onto his right foot to take a shot there, and it was a good intervention from Stauffer. And then Moreno commits a foul at the other end. So, but Jamali Waite back in possession for Locomotive, rolls it out to get things restarted. Pretty I guess just a disjointed
the press there and then got some space. I like that.
Yeah. Calvillo running into a bit of pasture here. Lays it off for Akinyode. A little bit more patient from Locomotive than what we've seen, as Moreno running onto this ball from Ruiz, cuts it back for Rivas. Couldn't quite turn in the box. Ruiz will deliver the cross. And then Coronado to Steven Rivas. And just all a bit too intricate from Locomotive. They couldn't create the shot, but Stauffer now on the ball. Like that whole sequence, you're just like waiting for someone to actually open up and shoot, and like no one actually had the right position to really do it. Big switch from Brandon Craig, knotted on. Moreno just blazes just over and off the stanchion. It looked like it may have nestled in the net there, but
that was a nice little touch onto him.
Yeah,
from the switch.
Yeah, that header down for Moreno was really well done. The switch from Brandon Craig was really nice and a little more targeted than what we've seen typically from Craig, I think, in his long range passing.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, that was, and I think it's also safe to say, and maybe not, hopefully not being overly critical in that, Amano Moreno should score. Like I just say, like given his quality, he should score. On a completely unrelated note, New Mexico United trail Louisville City.
Are they at home?
They are. Rivas is a million miles offside.
Yeah.
Never in danger of, as we
that
see this
sweet.
Yeah, this switch. That was Ricky Ruiz too, nodding down for Moreno, and I mean the nodded through ball. I will say, like, a little bit unlucky in the sense that, like, it is well placed, but he just tried to do too much.
Armanakis coming on.
Is this a triple change for Memphis? It looks like they had, so they've got Panos Armanakis. It looks like they were bringing on, wait, now I'm confused. It looked like they brought on someone who is not listed on their bench on FOTMOB at least, but Bruno Lapa is also coming on.
Santos.
Marlon. Okay, him being listed as Santos was news, but yeah, lots of attacking pieces coming on for Memphis. In Bruno Lapa, Marlon and Panos. So very attacking changes, which I think at 0-0 is actually sort of encouraging for Locomotive in that they've taken off a central midfielder. For an attacker.
Yeah,
and they were only playing with two central midfielders up to this point. So that is like a very attacking change. I don't know if they maybe expect because it was Pickering who came off, Heinemann came off, and I don't actually know who else came off. I would have assumed it would have been Baquero would have come off for somebody.
Came off.
Okay, yeah. So two attackers were like for like substituted, but then they brought off Hyman as that shot. I believe that was Marlon on the end of that as Locomotive ready a couple of changes of their own, and we are going to see the first action of Andy Cabrera.
Come on, Junior.
And Tumi Moshibane being readied as well. I would say if I had my pick, I would I think Joaquin Rivas. Yeah, so Joaquin Rivas off and
both Rivas.
Both Rivas's off.
Both Revi.
The Revi. It's like a Roman civil war. So yeah, I think it's a little harsh on Steven maybe, but Cabrera playing out on this right wing now for Steven, and then Moshibane taking up a more central areas. Moshibane fouled. Cabrera trying to get involved right off the bat, and it's Moreno trying to get on the end of it. And then a yellow card to Turchi, it looks like. But I don't think we actually got a foul. Like, he gives the foul Memphis's way, but then books Turchi. It's a little bit strange. Turchi also in a very strange position in that he is Brazilian, but has in having an Italian last name, I am like, how are you not Argentinian?
There's a lot of Italians in Brazil as well.
No, yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right.
Flat ball into midfield that Akinyode wins, and then really well done actually from Cabrera. Just one off him though by Bruno Lapa. Cabrera really putting himself about in this early part. He's been diving into some tackles. He's been pressing.
He's rocking the bun.
Yeah, I didn't remember the top knot from Cabrera back in his RGV days.
He's also like bigger than I imagine.
Yeah.
Or that I remember rather.
Maybe he bulked up a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say he probably bulked.
In adult football in Europe. Shot comes in. That was Marlon, I think, on that one. Yeah. Locomotive back in possession. It's Moreno. A lot deeper than you'd expect to see him, but does well. And then Moshibane trying to turn on the ball. Thought hint of a foul there. Stauffer able to keep that in well, but not able to find Cabrera or Moshibane. Locomotive will be back on the ball.
Power gone, still scoreless.
This feels really, and I hate to say this because like every Locomotive game that's been sort of like balanced on a knife edge has definitely not gone our way this year.
Yeah.
But this does feel like it's very even between the sides in that, like, at least in the second half, like, you know, these opening 15 minutes, it's been
they are out shooting us, but yeah, they're not like outplaying us.
Yeah. And I would say, like, there's been at least one passage of play where the fact that we didn't create at least 2 shots from it is more indicative of like the confidence level of this team than anything else, maybe.
Man, Junior is really putting himself about.
He really is. And yeah, that's got to be a card as well. Earns the foul. Wilmer Cabrera Jr., our best player, confirmed. No, so Akeem Ward in the book. And yeah, he is wearing O'Connor-Ward, which, like, obviously he can wear whatever he wants. It's just interesting for a player with such a I guess like a history in the league. Like, Akeem Ward's been well known for quite a long time. So for him to start going by O'Connor Ward is feels like a change. But if I missed that change, I do apologize to Akeem. But a chance for Locomotive here from the set piece. Eric over this one. Definitely not a shooting position, but a chance to deliver a good ball in. Floats it to the back post, and it was a diving header from Noah Dolenmeyer in the end. But I think he's claiming that he didn't actually get anything on that, which I actually wouldn't be shocked if that was true, given the flight of the ball being a little bit tamer than I would have expected, given the fact that he was flying into that header. But yeah, definitely some bright play from Wilmer Cabrera Jr. early on, but Memphis now in possession.
We do have to say that he does want to be called Andy.
He does.
His almost name is Andres, so
yeah,
that's where it comes.
I almost am just like concerned that as Moreno goes down, Coronado was looking for Andy down that right flank, and just a miscommunication. Little bit odd that the referee was playing advantage there, and didn't actually give the advantage, I guess. But I guess he assumed that Coronado getting to run into space was enough of an advantage, as Memphis now attacking the other way. Cross dealt with by Dolenmeyer, and now Moreno in the center of the field with Moshabane. Good, looking for Moreno. And deflected. Really good intervention in the end.
That whole play is to me Moshabane brilliance. Yeah. The little touch and then the pass through.
Sissoko eventually getting in the way of the Moreno shot and coming off like second best from that. But yeah, Moshabane doing wonderfully there. I actually, that sequence maybe is even enough. And I know, like, we're not in training. We don't see like how these players do day in and day out. But on that evidence, I'm prepared to say Moshabane over Rivas if that's the choice.
But I think that's been the case all season, to be fair. I mean, we didn't see the best of Toomey in the beginning because he was being played as an 8, which was total nonsense.
For sure.
But once he started playing further forward, I mean, he's been good, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Stauffer earning another corner here. Little upset that ball was allowed to go all the way through the box, and no one from us actually, like, ran onto it and did anything. But Moreno grappling here with
Okay.
long ball from Moshibane, who, wow, that's a little it's a little too FIFA for my taste in the
Yeah.
like playing in the corner for the volley. I don't know that that was like what they were going for. I think he maybe overhits the cross, but um now Memphis in transition and Luis Fernando running into the box. Blocked behind Dolenmeyer again. I mean, just really, really strong Noah tonight. I think it has to be said. Right place, right time in many respects. But Panos Armanakis, the man of the hour, over the over the corner.
Pushing away the advertising hoardings for more space.
Yeah, the reports in Phoenix were that Panos was involved in a literal fist fight in the Phoenix locker room, which is why he is no longer in Phoenix. But those are
Really?
I can't 100%. That is hearsay.
Uh-huh.
Um,
I mean,
so
but
I
it
can't
but it would make
100%
sense that they
confirm,
would
but
part ways.
they did deal him quite quickly. So oh, and now Toomey actually loses it in midfield. Jake, welcome. But yeah, Jake saying completely forgot to turn this one on until the second half. It was a subconscious defense mechanism, I think. Which,
Yeah,
hey, I
man.
mean, fair enough. And now, Mika, we do have a very convenient scapegoat if Locomotive concede in the last 25 minutes here.
Oh my god.
We're kidding, Jake. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, no,
Um,
of course.
and yeah, there's nothing but defense mechanisms up here. Like I am made of coping mechanisms at this point.
The body keeps the score, y'all.
Not sure who is down for Locomotive. Oh, and a yellow actually to Marlon, the substitute. Very heavy Brazilian influence
Yeah.
on Memphis between Marlon, Luis Fernando, and Lucas Churchy. I mean, heavy Brazilian contingent.
I think they have even more than them, no? Let me see.
So
Bruno Lapa. Bruno Lapa
Oh,
as
and
well.
Bruno Lapa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very heavy Brazilian contingent. Because Cariaga is Argentinian, the lone Argentine
Who
amongst the
is
sea of
also on
Brazilians.
loan
Yes,
from
that is true.
Lanús.
Which is kind of wild. Like on loan from a very big club in Argentina.
Yeah, top division side. Yeah.
So at the risk of saying something, uh we're approaching about 20 minutes to go. Still 0-0. Uh is there a game that Locomotive could be happy with drawing, or are like at this point in the season, is it simply that you have to win every single game? Like you have to not try to win every single game, but you have to, because obviously you do that. Um, but is this team at the point where draws aren't going to help sort of like the grand scheme? Like is it just like they need to get a win because of how bad it's been?
Yeah, no, I think the latter. I think a draw is very a Pyrrhic victory, if
Yeah.
anything. Yeah, no, 3 points is really what matters right now, and I think that like how winning can become a habit, losing can become a habit too, and unfortunately, we are suffering right now from that.
We do a lot of that.
Yeah.
Locomotive do enough, I guess, from the corner. Noah Dolenmeyer sort of at sea, I would say, like from this. Luckily, Jamali Waite able to claim the sort of errant cross into the box. Dolenmeyer really went on an adventure there, taking a page out of Frodo Baggins' book. Nice little. Anytime we really are in hell because anytime that Locomotive put like more than 2 passes together, I'm like, oh, really nice sequence here.
Yeah, no,
It's just
we're
like
literally like
the bar
starving.
the bar is nowhere, as they do eventually give it away. And Duncan was trying to play it in behind, and luckily it's through to Waite. But yeah, we are hurting. We are hurting here in Loco land, when a couple of passes is enough to get me excited.
Lean times.
Lean.
I almost wish he would have crossed that, like after he crossed it, rather than cut it back.
Yeah, the cutback from Moreno, out of the reach of Cabrera. It is a throw for Locomotive, and I will say I do think we have looked more dangerous since the changes. So
and there is still Petrovic.
True. Who could really? I mean, if you really wanted to try to like make an impact from the flanks, especially, and start running at people, there is still the option there. Nice ball around the corner from Moreno. Out. Shot comes in from Ruiz. Good save. That would have been a hell of a goal to open the account too, because Ruiz just really levered it, and it was on target too.
Yeah, no, really nice technique on the shot, but unfortunately just right at the keeper. Decent hit for him.
Yeah. And now Luis Fernando down the other way. Marlon running through, and Jamali Waite's intervention again, just vital. And then it's a tame shot as Wilmer Cabrera just absolutely
fully outside the technical area.
Yeah, just going for it out there.
It's a nice touch by Eric Calvillo.
Yeah, very nice. And around the corner for Tumi Moshabane, who's looking for Amano Moreno. Flag is up for offside.
Hits the bar.
Hits the bar anyway. The El Paso Locomotive season in a nutshell. And he's actually been booked for taking that shot, which is so pointless.
Another great save. Nice and big, squared to the shot.
Yeah. Jamali Waite really is like, it's like
if we don't get a transfer fee for him, like, delete club.
Yeah, seriously. It's like we knew that was a, I think everybody understood that was a very good signing.
Yeah.
In the offseason.
But to shine
I don't think anyone,
as much as you do in this horrific team is crazy. Yeah.
It's like we knew that he was probably one of the best goalkeepers available.
Like, I have not heard a single Locomotive fan complain about him.
No.
Which is
and we are
everything.
Quick to complain about goalkeepers.
Oh yeah, 100%. So that, yeah, exactly.
We are harsh on keepers. That much is abundantly known. Yeah, Jake saying he's at bare minimum an MLS starter. I think the fact that he had at least, that he had a cameo appearance for Jamaica that was as good as Andre Blake could have expected to be, then he's probably on that level. Bruno Lapa down here, I think. And a bit of afters as well from between Locomotive and Memphis. And
Coronado just absolutely trucks him.
it's funny. I think he gets a yellow. I would say like it's definitely a foul. I don't know. I don't know. Like
like
yeah,
a
I guess
hip
he's not.
check.
I guess he's not really playing the ball. But Carson Vom Steeg. This Carson Vom Steeg on for Quezada, and this is I think the most American soccer name of all the American soccer names. Because it's just like just demonstrates like yeah, this guy definitely paid to play club soccer.
He was definitely on like travel teams.
Carson Vom Steeg. Old money. No, he could just be Dutch. I don't know. Like, or German? I don't even know what Vom is. Like, another chance from a set piece from Memphis, and luckily Turchi puts it wide, but Vom actually feels like vaguely Austrian and like vaguely royal. Like Vom feels like the prefix of like hemophilia runs in our family.
Okay, it's apparently German.
Okay. Oh, Cabrera latching onto one here, and his cross is tame in the end, but Moshabane maybe latching onto this. He has options. He checks back. Bolu does well. And now Moreno looking for some space. Look to go into the feet of Moshabane and just squeezed out of it in the end. But Locomotive keeping the press on, which impressive for the 76th minute. And maybe Locomotive benefiting a little bit from playing in a more maybe mild climb than they are used to. As the energy levels seem to be higher than what we've maybe seen in prior weeks. But Memphis getting straight down the other end, and Dolenmeyer again doing well to win the ball there. Ball does go out for a Memphis throw. Luis Fernando's switched flanks, got a little fancy with the flick around the corner there, and Locomotive have a goal kick. But yeah, this is actually Andy Cabrera having the top knot is really freaking me out because like Costa Simicas exists.
It does, yeah. Yeah. I was
And they
wondering who
look
it was
sort
reminding
of
me
similar.
of.
Like they look sort of similar. Well done from Akinyode there in the center of the park. I know we haven't called his name all that much. Stauffer, I was about to praise him, but he gives the ball away pretty cheaply. I think it's Vom Steeg going in, and ball won fairly in the end from Noah Dolenmeyer, who goes down in a heap. And I think it's coming down for a head injury to Dolenmeyer. It was actually Armanakis who was in that collision, and it felt heavy. I actually thought I was more worried about. I thought Noah was going to get called for a foul there, but he does actually win the ball, and then yeah, Armanakis just kind of throws himself into that. Referee didn't give anything on the field though, so I guess I'll take it because it was more than likely going to go against Noah. than against Armenakis. So long ball over the top for Memphis, but weight claims, and now Dolenmeyer in possession. Bolu. He was looking for a switch out to Cabrera, but it's actually fallen for Moshibane here. Failed clearance from Memphis. Moreno. Ball into the center for Moshibane, who couldn't take the touch. And then Armenakis with a really deft flick around Stauffer. Looks out wide. Marlone just skews the shot wide in the end. Armenakis like showing basically in that sequence like why he is so dangerous at any given point, because all it took was his initial take around Stauffer like puts him into space, and then that is a damn near perfect ball for Marlone, and he should do better.
Yeah, I guess I never realized that Armenakis is pretty 2-footed as well.
Yeah. No, he's like he's a classic case of like attitude and ability like not meshing, because I mean Armenakis was in Udinese's academy, like,
and Watford as well, I think, right?
And Watford, yeah. So Armenakis with like a little bit more chill is probably playing in a first division somewhere like in Europe. So
yeah.
No offside flag. Oh yeah, the offside flag did go up against Armenakis. That was really bizarre, actually. Like that whole, I don't know why he gave it back to Armenakis when he was basically running like out of bounds. But Locomotive getting the restart here. Do want to say shout out to former Locomotive sideline correspondent / local sports reporter Rachel Phillips, who's now plying her trade in Memphis, much to our chagrin.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's crazy.
Props to a real one. 83rd minute, Mika. Are we petering out here? Is it the peter out, or do you think there's fireworks still?
I don't know. I mean, Memphis have been wasteful, to be honest.
Yeah,
they could have put us away a while ago.
Yeah, that's fair.
So one wonders if that means it might be our night. But
do you think that there could be the smash and grab of they deserve to win and they've put things away? Stauffer and Armenakis tangled up there.
Armenakis just like forgot about the ball there.
Yeah.
That's gotta be a card. It's like an elbow right into the shoulder
Moshibane, yeah, taken down there quite unceremoniously by Cariaga, and it looks like he escapes a booking though, which is interesting because I would say the ref has been maybe more lenient on what is a foul, but has been booking most of the fouls, if that makes sense. Like he hasn't given many fouls that haven't been tied to a card in some way. He's mostly let things roll. So interesting that Cariaga gets away with that, given how cynical it was. But Calvillo with a chance to deliver one in here. And again, Locomotive in with a chance as well as the header's in by Dolenmeyer, and it was a free header, and it's straight into the arms of the Memphis keeper. I don't know how else to say it aside from like he simply must do better. That is a free header in every sense of the word, and from that distance, you've got to work the keeper a lot more than Noah Dolenmeyer did there, unfortunately.
Looks like they're making another change.
Oh, Noe Meza. So former Union Omaha star coming on, and
absolutely tore us apart in the U.S. Open Cup.
Yeah. And it's actually Sissoko making way, which is very interesting because
they're like senior defender. Wow.
Yeah. They are really going for it. Like, so now they are playing with one less central midfielder, one less central defender now, and they are really like just going for it. And Nick Hines, it looks like, is also being prepared for Locomotive. I'm curious if they're just going to take Ruiz off or if they're going to do something else. Jake saying, I've been off Twitter and haven't seen a lot of reactions. Did anyone else get a bad taste in their mouth when the Cabrera signing was announced? That just felt gross to me. So Cabrera, I think we talked about the fact that like that Andy Cabrera, Wilmer Cabrera Jr., signing for Locomotive was likely at some point in the Wilmer, like once Wilmer was announced as a coach, we were like, it's a possibility that he ends up here, right?
Yeah.
Just given the history. And I think the clubs, I will say, I think like I understand the player's desire to separate himself from his father. I think the club trying to dodge the fact that, hey, this is the coach's son, that felt a little bit disingenuous. And I think that's where the grossness can come from, where it's like, you gotta say what it is. Like, regardless of the fact that, like, yeah, we want to say this isn't like a nepotism signing or something like that. He's a quality player. He could probably add something as Memphis now might be in here and just over the bar.
They did say he's Wilmer's son in the statement, but you have to like click through and read that. Mm-hmm. So it's not,
yeah, the actual
look for it.
The tweet announcing it, I can understand why it might feel gross to folks when it's like, are you trying to dodge the fact that this is like the manager's son?
Well, and like literally, this is the first time that he's being professionally known as anything other than Wilmer Cabrera Jr. So
yeah,
which you have to respect that he wants to be his own man, and I get it
for sure.
Yeah, I can see why on its face it's like,
Oh, it's actually Moreno who makes way for Hines, which suggests that Hines is probably just going to be deployed in a wing.
Looks like he's on the left wing.
Yeah. Moreno, can you basically sum up his performance in like was dangerous / should have put away like the one big chance he had?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he did the things that we want of him: create space, pin the opposition back, but like that final action was just missing.
Bolu does well there to win the ball, and then it's Andy down the right side, plays it back to Stauffer. Nice little interchange here, and it's Andy Cabrera dribbling into the area. He's looking to shape to shoot, gets kind of wiped out, and then Moshabane, or actually it was Nick Hines, I think, who was actually
Coronado, man, please do not get sent off.
Bowled over there, and then yeah, Coronado not making any I guess Coronado was not booked earlier, but he is booked now. Yeah, he goes with the full rugby tackle. Which I will say, Mika, I'm not sure how much of the I know we've been talking about Olympics stuff going on, but I don't know how much you saw U.S. women's rugby taking bronze.
Didn't they beat like Australia or
They
someone
beat
like big?
Australia in the
Yeah,
bronze medal match, having lost to New Zealand in the semis, which is like, fair enough.
right.
Um,
That's crazy.
but yeah, the first it was like the first American rugby team to medal since like the 50s or something like that.
And then USA getting clapped by Morocco.
In the US men, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Morocco's development is just like crazy.
They brought Ashraf Hakimi on this
That's so insane.
Olympic. I'm like, that's so OP. Fuck
That's
off.
so insane.
But then you see France's team, and you're like, that whole team's OP. Like
That is true. Lacazette being brought as an overage player is so funny.
Mateta. I think
Yeah.
Elise's there too, right?
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's like, please. It's like, it's one thing for Crystal Palace to play in the Premier League. It's another thing for Crystal Palace to play at the Olympics. Like,
Crystal Palace ate this summer.
That's what I'm saying.
They had 4 people at in the England team in the Euros.
Yeah.
Like, just crazy.
Yeah. No, 6 minutes of added time. We've played one of them. I guess anything is still possible in this match.
It's a lot of time, but I guess there's been enough cards to justify it.
Yeah. Jake saying the rugby finish was wild. Yeah, I don't know if you saw, Mika, but it was basically like a play as time expired for the US to beat
No
Australia.
kidding.
Yeah, like girl went the length of the field on like the final play of the game. So yeah, pretty crazy stuff.
For them.
But I've also enjoyed Flava Flav is apparently like a huge he's like a
been,
patron,
like, sponsoring.
He just like pays people's way, and like there'll be an Olympic athlete who tweets like I've got to like pay my rent, and he's like, DM me, I'm paying your rent, like
right.
whatever, like just like I was like, why is Flava Flav more of a philanthropist than like we have like all these we have tons of billionaires in the US, and yet Flava Flav is the one like making a difference for our Olympians.
Insane.
It's funny. Yeah, talking about the US squad that got clapped by Morocco, Diego Luna. I mean, and Cade Cowell. Like, we mustn't forget the Chivas man as well. And yeah, potentially damaging mistake not to call up some of these guys to the Olympic team as they hold eligibility to play elsewhere. And Mexico not being in the Olympics could actually work in their favor. So yeah, not calling up Diego Luna, especially when he's having like a very good year in MLS, was just odd. Like, it was just very strange.
Well, and also he was like key in qualifying.
Yeah, that too.
It just doesn't really add up. But
Yeah.
you see Edison Ascona getting a red card for Dominican
I
Republic?
did see that.
Whew.
Man, Las Vegas Lights legend.
Jeez. It's actually crazy how small the football world is if you really deep it. Like,
yeah, no, it is kind of wild. Well, actually, speaking of the small football world, John Hutchinson managed Yokohama F. Marinos to a win against Newcastle United today,
Did
um,
he?
because Harry Kuehl was hired as Yokohama F. Marinos' new manager a few months ago after the loss in the Champions League final, and then they terminated his contract like a couple months ago. It wasn't really explained why, but I guess like he only lasted like a very short amount of time. So now John Hutchinson is the interim manager of Yokohama F. Marinos.
I can't with this man like failing upwards. It's genuinely like beggars belief.
It's disheartening, for sure. But Locomotive have a free kick here, deep in stoppage time, about a minute of the 6 to play. And it'll be Andy Cabrera to take. Looks like he's going to whip it in with his right foot. And can Locomotive steal something here at the death? Take a decent delivery, floats it to the back post, headed away. Locomotive maybe keeping it alive. It'll be a throw. That was a really important header because if it goes through, it's a big chance for Locomotive. And maybe a long throw coming here as Bolu leaves it for Nick Hines, I think. Okay. I'm actually not sure what's happening. Okay. I guess we have crossed 6 minutes of stoppage time. Is this going to be... Nick Hines like sort of kicked the ball away, which was really strange. And I don't really know. The referee really having a lot of say around what happens in the penalty area. But it does look like this throw is being treated essentially like a corner. And it is going to be almost certainly the last action of the game. And they don't even put it in the box.
Are they giving the corner?
Yeah, it looks like they are giving the corner. That was really strange for the amount that they set up in the box. Like, why did we not throw it into the box?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That was all
like
very...
Bolu of all people trying to dribble it in. Like,
yeah, that was very, very strange. But I'm gonna like, I don't understand our set piece routines. But corner to be taken here, lofted, and a fumble by the keeper, but able to be collected, and then they go long, and it eventually just gets booted into touch by Coronado, and that probably is full time. 0-0. Locomotive come away with a point out of Memphis. Kind of a weird game in that, like, I guess it's not that weird. Locomotive survive Memphis for much of this game, and they're not able to capitalize at the other end in terms of like getting the smash and grab, if you will.
Yeah, I think Memphis will probably be more disappointed just given the chances that they had, but I suppose to go on the road and not give anything away, clean sheet. I mean, we're, feasting on scraps here, but
Yeah. Yeah, this is interesting from Jake. Like, the players definitely seemed pleased, which is like, on the one hand, I get it because, like we said, like they've been suffering like very deeply. That snaps a... because I think we had lost 4 in a row, 5 in a row. Yeah, we had lost 5 in a row. But it still means that Locomotive's last win came on June 5th. So we are now gonna cross a 2-month. Like we are 2 months since Locomotive's last win.
Jeez. That's bleak. That is really bleak.
Yeah. It is the first result that Locomotive have gotten since June 15th, again, when they got a 1-1 draw against Phoenix. And yeah, it does snap a 5-game losing streak, which is certainly important, I think. Like, and you can't, it's just tough, like we talked about. Like the win feels important because at this point, Locomotive are, and this is as of right now, which Tulsa have actually taken the lead against San Antonio. So this is even taking into account the fact that San Antonio are losing. We're 7 points adrift at the bottom of the table. Like, it's not just like, oh, we're bottom and it's close or whatever. It's like, no, we're 7 points from second to last.
I mean, I think the playoffs are a wrap, right? Like,
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
playoffs are like a distant dream at this point.
Yeah.
There's no, like, it would take something like truly monumental.
Yeah.
But the fact that we are 7 points from San Antonio, who is abysmal, like not getting basically any game that we're not horrible in, to not get the 3 points, it's just like the addition problem that we're doing is just not going to add up at the end of the season, right? Like a point just doesn't matter. I guess like maybe a point matters if we can convert, if it means that the mentality of the team turns around and we get more wins in the long run, then this can be important. But until then, it's just not really. It just adding a point, like going from 12 to 13, just doesn't really do anything for us.
Yeah, I would agree. Doesn't move the needle at all. But what can you do?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, 0-0 in Memphis, I guess, like mission accomplished in the sense that it is a clean sheet. Jamali Waite will likely claim save of the week once again, deservedly so. And nothing changed, like big picture. It does feel like Cabrera, like Andy Cabrera, could be a bit of a game changer in terms of like what he offered once he came on, in an attacking sense. And I think Tumi Moshibane made a big case for himself in starting over Joaquin Rivas. But yeah, bit of the same from this Locomotive team, and maybe just still not proving that they are capable of being any more than what they have shown us this year. So so for myself and Mika, I'm going to go ahead and sign off at this time. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's always a pleasure. And hopefully this Locomotive side finds a way to climb out of whatever doldrums they are in. But who knows? Maybe we need to just write it off and get back together next. No, we'll be around. And for those who are wondering about our episodes and everything, we are still planning on recording. We likely will record in the aftermath of this. And what I will say is that it has been difficult this year to continue to try to push and like care in a season where we are so bad on the field, but beyond the form on the field, because I think we've shown like through good times and bad, like we don't really waver. I think more so the concern is like it is tough as like an outlet that covers the team to feel like we care more than the organization cares. And that is sort of the situation we're in at the moment, is just like, do we care more than them? Because if they're not putting in the energy and the effort and all that stuff, it can be really tough when you're doing it for free, right? So yeah, weird result in Memphis. Thank you, Jamali Waite, for a clean sheet and another save of the week contender, and we will see you guys later. Bye.